Today, the podcast we're doing is actually an episode about secret societies. And we wanted to do a sort of a lead-in for the podcast. It's something that a lot of podcasts do. We've never done it before, but we thought it was appropriate this time just to sort of give you a heads up as to why we're talking about secret societies
People
today.
are probably like, where's that intro music? It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming. So our founder, owner, president, David Pickler, is very passionate about his time in secret societies and his family history of involvement in secret societies. And so we thought it was appropriate to let you know what his involvement had been. And also that kind of helps explain why we're talking about them at all. So as a kid, he was in Demolay.
Order of the Demolay, it's actually the youth division of the Masonic Lodge for boys.
They describe themselves as the premier organization based on timeless principles, committed to developing and inspiring leadership, team building, and networking for young men ages 12 to 21.
So basically it builds young men up. It builds boys up into these outstanding
leaders, community servants, so forth.
And they teach 7 core values, which are called cardinal values, as the basis of good character. So it's all about character building. Mm-hmm. But yeah, David was 14, and he actually showed me some of his certificates and booklets and all these cool things from this secret society. I didn't know Demolay was a secret society.
Some secret societies are secret in terms of their rituals and membership and so forth. Some secret societies are secret in terms of, like, you just don't even know they exist. This one, we obviously know they exist. Obviously, it's not so secret that David can't mention that he was in it.
Sure. Or maybe it is secret and we're going to die.
I don't know. We're outing him. Who knows? If you don't hear from us, again. But David was in it. He did participate in a lot of its competitions for rituals that are performed.
Yeah. And one of these competitions, he actually read me some of this. He, I guess, performed is the right word, performed the flower talk. He was reading me some of it. It's pages of this dialogue he had to memorize called the flower talk, which was at a public ritual delivered at officer installation, which honored the mothers and filial love. But it's this really like epic speech he gave that he had to memorize at a young age.
He won something, didn't he? He was like the grand champion when he performed this flower ritual.
Yes, I know he did very well at it. And he said there was not a dry eye in the room. All these mothers were crying because it's just this like really neat language, these boys talking to their mothers.
Okay, so where does the name Demolay come from? He mentioned that he performed in the ritual as Jacques Demolay,
who was the last of the Knights Templar, which we will talk about, another secret organization later in the show.
So apparently there is a ritual of the last days of the Knights Templar, and he performed as Jacques Demolay in that ritual. So there are stations of leadership in Demolay, and David achieved every station of leadership in Demolay you could. He ended as a master counselor. I guess it's sort of like from the Templars, the highest level of recognition you can achieve in Demolay is the
Chevalier.
The Chevalier.
Don't kill me if I got that wrong.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say Chevalier. So obviously I'm French.
That's fancy.
It's the Masonic equivalent of an Eagle Scout, and he was recognized as a Chevalier during his service, and he is a Chevalier to this day, I guess.
That's right. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say Katie, our co-host, comes from a long line of secret societies. Mm-hmm. It's in her blood. Her great-great-grandfather was a woodsman of the world, which we will talk about.
We will.
Her great-grandfather was a master mason, which we will talk about.
Indeed.
Her great-grandmother was the leader of the Arkansas Order of Eastern Star, and her grandfather, Bobby Campbell, was also a master mason.
When David was 21, he took the first degree in the Masonic Lodge in Dallas, Texas. Before Katie's great-grandfather died, he made a promise to him that he would actually finish all of his degrees, which is the levels of Mason, all of his degrees, and follow in Katie's great-grandfather's footsteps as a Master Mason. He swears that he will fulfill that promise.
Fascinating.
Guess we're going to have to hold him to it.
Yes, we're going to ask him a lot of questions. All this to say, when we discuss in the show all of these secret societies, you'll learn that a lot of the world leaders throughout history have gone through some of these secret societies.
Yes.
They have built character, leadership, entrepreneurship. We see that in our boss David going through Demolay and some of these societies. So it's all very fascinating to me.
Well, he's certainly lived a life of service in his adulthood. I mean, he's been involved in so many different organizations, and that probably all started, I guess, with Demolay. And I imagine that the life of service that tons of people lead as adults probably starts in these secret societies that we're going to be discussing here. So I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. Here it comes.
welcome to the Bullcast Podcast. I'm Katie Pickler, and with me is Cort Winsett.
Good afternoon, Katie.
And Cameron Spann.
Ooh.
It's spooky season!
Spooky season.
I mean, I guess technically last week's episode was officially spooky season, but we were with the Magnolia and May gang, and so I had to kind of try and hide my crazy of my spooky love, right?
That episode was spooky good.
Oh, it was. Bet some of those cocktails would be spooky good right now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I loved talking to them. I really enjoyed meeting them and getting to know them, but I definitely want to go back and have some drinks.
Yeah, they gave us coffee. The coffee was good.
Okay, so this episode's a little different. I feel like this whole, year we've kind of done a little bit different episodes, but a while back we were talking about some different things and we kept kind of just randomly mentioning secret societies, and we kind of put a pin in it and said, October, it's spooky season. Let's talk about secret societies and just kind of the different ones out there. Obviously, this is not going to be a conspiracy theory podcast episode, so I'm sorry to burst that bubble.
Bursting the Illuminati bubble.
Exactly. I'm not going down those rabbit holes. We're going to skim around and more so talk about these different secret societies. But okay, how does this play into financial? We're a financial podcast. Really, you think about it, there's been so many different secret groups, secret organizations, societies since the beginning of time that have played huge roles in politics and the economy, different things like that, financially backing. And I was explaining to somebody the other day about secret societies, yeah, we're going to do this. But you think about it in a roundabout way, follow me, and y'all may both tell me, but booster clubs. I mean, they're not secret per se, but that is a group of people backing behind a kid's sport thing. So it's really everything in our lives have different groups backing them. Some of them are just secret, right?
Yes.
Boosters, they are a society.
So some of them
We
may
talked
be
about that in our
secret,
NIL episode.
Well, y'all booted me out on that one. Okay, you ready to talk about secret societies?
Absolutely.
Well, so we've got lots of lists in this episode, but our first one is going to kind of be pop culture references to
Our
secret
first
societies.
one is the list.
The list.
The official list of
The
all the
official
lists.
list. I'll start with my reference, and what it is the movie Cruel Intentions. Now, there isn't a real secret society. Every time somebody says this, I have pictured in my head Selma Blair, and she is dancing around kind of like a crazy person going, secret society, secret society. And this is when Sarah Michelle Gellar has fully manipulated her, and she's like, oh, it's a secret. She's like, oh, like a secret society? Okay, sorry. Okay, y'all go.
Okay, so next on the list for me is Skulls with Joshua Jackson. I think it was Yale, maybe. And, of course, there is a secret society or multiple secret societies at Yale, although Skulls is a fictional one. There's one very similar to Skulls. Of course, Skulls was a murder mystery action thriller kind of movie, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good movie.
I feel like this is like our fantasy draft of secret societies. I am going to go with Fight Club. And we had a brief argument before we recorded about, is Fight Club a secret society? And I think it is, because what's the first rule of Fight Club?
You don't talk about Fight
You
Club.
don't talk about Fight Club.
Or Bruno.
Yeah. Ed Norton, Brad Pitt. It's a good movie.
Okay, one that the boys didn't know about, and I stumbled upon it a while ago, was called the Secret Society of Second Born Royals. Now, this is just a cute little campy Disney movie, but it's cute. It's all the second borns, the spares, as you may have it, that they all get
the spare.
that they all get together, and it's this fun little thing that they're actually get to be like superheroes-ish in a way.
I'm not going to talk about it too much, but I've read a book recently that basically had a secret sort of handed down tradition that was for all of the third born children of royals. Suffice it to say, they all became assassins. So that's all I'll say about it, but because it's kind of a geeky one. But anyway, okay, so next for me, I guess I'll go with my favorite secret society. That would be the Order of the Phoenix, known from the movie Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix and all of the subsequent movies. And then, of course, also the Harry Potter books.
They have a magical meeting place. It's not like a building that just expands, right?
Yes. It's very
Well, I mean,
Harry
if you're in a secret
Potter-esque.
society, you have to have an awesome place to meet.
Especially if you consist of wizards.
Yeah.
I will go with Sherlock Holmes. I think there were secret societies in both, but I'm thinking the second film, A Game of Shadows.
This was another one we kind of argued with Stepford Wives, but really it's the husbands all get together because their wives are too much of a boss going out there, doing all these wonderful things and not being the housewife that they convince their wives to move to this place, and they turn them into like fembots.
Yes. I've actually not ever seen either version of that movie. I feel like I've failed in my pop culture
Pop culture expertise.
Yes. That.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's the best movie ever, but it's entertaining.
Okay, so next I'll go with one that that was a little bit before y'all's time. It's called The Star Chamber. It was with Michael Douglas. There was definitely a secret society or a secret group in that one. It was a little bit more shady than just like your typical secret society, but
Shady business. I will go with Men in Black. More probably the comedy on this list, but the Men in Black, they befriend the cool aliens and they destroy the evil aliens. And Will Smith before he
They have that fun little
took a
flashy
dive.
thing. You just go.
make you forget your memories.
I mean, how
my
awesome would
son
that
just
be?
recently did a whole YouTube video on how Men in Black, how the movies got made, why they got made, why they were the way they were. It's really pretty interesting. It was a deep dive into like the backstory of the Men in Black movies.
Yeah, the first one was great, and then I think they kind of went downhill.
I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but I think that the first one was great. The second one was definitely downhill from the first one. I think the third one was kind of an uptick. I think it was better than 2. And then, I can do without Men in Black International. But
I never saw Men in Black
Is
International.
that the one with Thor in it?
Yeah.
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 But I would like the pen, though, that I can, like, if you say something stupid, you can be like, oh, nope, you forget that.
Yeah. Yes. Who doesn't want a flashy thing? Did you flashy thing me?
No.
Kay, tell me the truth. Did you flashy thing me?
Is that Will Smith?
Yes. I mean, Angels and Demons and the Da Vinci Code, those are ones that for sure have secret societies.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have not ever watched the movies. Tom Hanks himself has admitted that his portrayal of Robert Langdon, I think is the guy's name.
That's right, yep.
In those movies and or the movies themselves was not necessarily the greatest work that he's been involved in. I liked the book, The Da Vinci Code. I never read Angels and Demons. It's good sort of pop culture-y beach read for the conspiracy theory fans out there.
Yeah, Tom Hanks had a horrific haircut in those movies.
Yeah, and
it's
that's
like he tried to pull off the long, shaggy look, and I'm like, no.
Honestly, one of the main reasons I couldn't watch that movie is because of that hair. I saw that in the previews, and I was like, no, I don't want to look at Tom Hanks like that. So,
Katie, we got to hang out at the Vatican where Angels and Demons was filmed.
Yeah.
Katie's like, I don't care. No, you weren't there.
I wasn't there, I don't think. I'm like, again. Is
Courtroom?
that also when you were at the Oscars?
okay, so I think that's the end of the list. I got nothing else, guys. Cameron, do you have any others you wanted to throw in there?
I was just going to say Batman Begins, the first of the Christopher Nolan trilogy.
Yeah.
There's the League of Shadows.
Yeah, well, League of
where he
Shadows is
trains.
big in Batman lore all around.
Ra's al
it's-
Ghul.
Yeah, it takes up a big portion of Batman
That's
lore in
true.
the comics and the movies. Yeah.
Oh, and basically any James Bond movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no question.
Okay, so what are secret societies? They're clubs or organizations whose activities, events, inner functionings, or memberships are concealed.
Yeah, okay. So when
They're
I say
secret.
secret society, obviously it's just absolutely inspires curiosity. You want to know everything about it immediately. So you're going to want to dig into it. But one of the first things that you find out about secret societies and getting into them, like if you wanted to actually get into one, you apparently can't ask about it.
Nope, you can't ask about it. Denial of membership or knowledge of this group. You can't even act like you know the people in it. I got to throw back Greek. I haven't talked about Greek in a while, but I loved that show. And obviously there was rival fraternity guys throughout the whole show. But the ex-girlfriend, Casey, ended up realizing the two guys were like acting a little bit friendly. And they were actually being inducted into a secret society at the university and trying to hide it. And so she was snooping, trying to find out what they were up to, ended up stumbling upon the secret society. So yeah, it's one of those, you got to play it cool. You can't, like, as soon as you walk out of those doors, you don't know anything about it anymore.
Yeah, the most exciting part of a secret society is that they are shrouded in mystery. I mean, it's very exclusive.
Absolutely. They were created with democracy, modern science, religion. They elected their own leaders, drew up constitutions to govern their operations. It wasn't an accident that Voltaire, George Washington, Ben Franklin were all active members of societies. And just like today's networked radicals, much of their power was wrapped up in their ability to stay anonymous and keep their communications secret. So that's from Noah Shatman.
Shackman, yeah.
Shatman?
Are you saying our founding fathers were shady?
I mean, listen.
I'm sure they were all Freemasons.
I was going to say, they were all wrapped up in the Freemasons.
which we're going to discuss in a minute.
Yeah.
I know that's on this. So we've got a couple of lists within this episode. This first one is 5 secret societies that have remained
Shrouded
in mystery. The Knights Templar.
Yeah, absolutely.
So warriors dedicated to protecting Christian pilgrims to the Holy Land, founded around
1118.
I'm like, how do you say that number? 1118? 1118, headquartered in Jerusalem. Members pledged to live a life of chastity, obedience, and poverty. Abstain from gambling, alcohol, and swearing. Okay, so they were really, really good people. Did not do any of the sins.
Doesn't sound too shady so far.
Da Vinci Code continues to inspire curiosity and symbol the Cross of Lorraine.
I feel like the Knights Templar might have made an appearance in one of the Indiana Jones movies, too. I could be wrong on that. But yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot with that.
They have cropped up in my sampling of fictional works over the years. Let me put it like that. So what about the Freemasons? Who knows about the Freemasons? I know a little bit about the Freemasons.
I'd say that's the one everyone's familiar
You've
with.
heard of.
But when I say familiar, that's like very loose.
I think they've heard of it.
They've heard of it.
Yeah.
We don't know what happens.
There are Masonic temples all over the place, so you know about the Freemasons because they're everywhere. But okay, so 13 of 39 men who signed the Constitution were members of the Freemasons. George Washington, James Monroe, Ben Franklin, John Hancock, and Paul Revere. Masonic temples, I just mentioned those. Of course, they have their secret rituals that made people wonder if they were like cults or, evil or devil worshiping or whatever. Their rituals brought them into conflict with the Catholic Church. A lot of their rituals have actually, because so many Freemasons have existed, the Masonic secret rituals have actually bled into a lot of other secret societies' rituals. So if you were ever a member of another secret society or a society that has secret rituals and then you became a Freemason, you might be like, hey, I've seen this before.
Yeah, I mean, they exist today. Their public image has been greatly influenced by the Shriners' charity work. Their symbol is the square and compasses. And kind of when you were saying that, like the secret society, to a way, Greek life is kind of that. Because when you get initiated, there's secret words you say. There's a secret ritual that you're only supposed to share with your sisters. Now, obviously, that's not as secret because you can Google it. It's everywhere.
Not everybody's ritual is out there.
Yeah.
Most people's is out there, but there are still a few that have managed to keep their stuff secret.
Yeah, in my hometown, we had the Freemason building. I guess way back in the day, it was a Freemason building, but it still had the emblem, the concrete emblem at the top of the square and the compass.
Yeah.
And as high school kids, you would just like use your imagination and just think about what goes on in there.
Oh,
Well,
yeah,
I feel like
absolutely.
wasn't
It's
National
fascinating.
Treasure? There was a lot
Yeah.
of stuff with that as
I
well.
think you're right. Yep.
That had the symbol, and that's
Or
what
was
you would
that was National Treasure the Illuminati, which is the next one?
There were multiple national treasures. Probably covered it all. But I get the
Okay.
Big Daddy. I get
Yep.
the Illuminati. Founded by Adam Weishaupt in Bavaria on May 1st, 1776.
Oh, it's a big year.
Back to our founding fathers. Chafing at the power of the conservative Catholic Church and the Bavarian monarchy, they sought to cast aside organized religion in favor of a new form of illumination. Members were referred to as perfectibilists. Perfectibilists?
I think
Yes.
perfectibilists would
That's
probably
an
be.
interesting word. I'm glad you got that word, not me.
Perfect is
Why
the
not
key
just
word.
call them perfectionists?
I know, perfectibilists. They were broken into 3 tiers of increasing power and drawn from societal elites. The organization flourished before being stamped out by Karl Theodor of Bavaria. Conspiracy theorists have linked the group to everything from the French Revolution to the assassination of JFK, and I think that's why you hear about them in all
Illuminati
novels,
gets
movies.
blamed for everything, I think.
Yeah, and their symbol is the all-seeing eye, which I think is on the dollar bill, right? The pyramid with the eye on it.
Yeah.
That's what people say.
Yeah, one thing you didn't mention there, they make an appearance in the latest Doctor Strange movie. Of course, that's a
That's
completely different set of
right.
Illuminati, but still, they go by the Illuminati. It's a group of superheroes that make decisions about the world.
Every time you look up conspiracy theories, I feel like Illuminati's got something in there. Okay, Skull and Bones. You've mentioned this a little bit already. Founded at Yale, 1832, by William Huntington Russell. Inspired by a society he visited in Germany. Co-founded Alfonso Taft, future Secretary of War and father of President William Howard Taft. Each year, 15 seniors at Yale are tapped to join. So I'm sure that's probably a very strategic way of how they pick those 15 seniors.
This is like the fraternity of secret societies, I feel like.
Yeah. Names are published in the Yale Rumpus. Though what happens behind closed doors of the tomb, the windowless meeting spaces where they gather twice a week, is under wraps. Famous members included William Howard Taft, George H.W. Bush, and George W. Bush.
3 presidents.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, if you want to be president of the United States, looks like get yourself into Skull and Bones, and your chances increase.
You got to find somebody to tap you on your shoulder, say you're in. Also, the founder of Time Magazine and John Kerry, their symbol is Skull and Bones.
Makes sense.
Okay, so we've talked about societies that I was at least somewhat familiar with, and then of course I get the one that I've never heard of. Bilderberg.
Not Build-A-Bear.
Bilderberg. First meeting was in 1954 at the Hotel de Bilderberg in the Netherlands. A gathering of powerful politicians from North America and Europe designed to foster warmer relations between the two continents among fears of growing anti-Americanism in Europe. Guests, I guess they call them guests. Guests have included Bill Clinton, Margaret Thatcher, Angela Merkel, Tony Blair, and Henry Kissinger. Not strictly a secret society like the Illuminati or Freemasons. Chatham House rule blocked attendees from sharing what actually happens in meetings. Journalists are barred from reporting on it. Attendees are selected by a dedicated international committee. Man, I want to be selected for this group. Every year, 120 to 140 people are invited, with about 2/3 coming from Europe and 1/3 from North America. Backgrounds in government and politics are the most common. Academia, finance, and media have also been included. Hey, finance. Maybe we could get in there under the guise of
an application?
finance. I don't know, but man, I want to go. Unproven theories that Bilderberg attendees are behind the creation of the EU, the invasion of Iraq, and the bombing of Serbia. Okay, so basically, and of course they would because they're conspiracy theorists. Conspiracy theorists have painted the group as plotting a new world order. Publicly known topics of conversation are Brexit, cybersecurity, and climate change. Harder. So basically anything major that's affecting the world, they're going to talk about. And then what happens behind the closed doors of these secret societies has caused debate for centuries. What's clear is that they continue to spark the imagination and curiosity of the public.
I think there's a reason we hadn't heard of that society, because they're the newest on the list.
Yeah.
They've only been around, 70 years?
Yeah.
Yep, not long. Okay, here's another list. 8 secret societies you might not know about. Okay, let's find out about this. The Improved Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks of the World.
Well, thank God we're protecting the elks.
It is claimed by members and officers it is one of the most thriving secret societies among Afro-Americans of this city.
It's a very 70s term.
It's very
what about
70s
just
thing.
African Americans?
According to the nonprofit African American Registry, the fraternal order was founded in Cincinnati, Ohio in 1899 after 2 black men were denied admission to the Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks of the World, which is still popular today and, despite questions raised on discrimination practices, now allow any American citizen 21 years or older who believes in God to be invited to join its ranks.
Okay, so I just want to point out that we are distinguishing between the, quote, improved Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks of the World and the just plain old Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks of the World.
So
one was apparently racist, so they started a new one that was for black people.
Yeah, so 2 men decided to take the order's name, make it their own club, formally called the Improved Benevolent and Protective Order of the Elks of the World. The order was once considered to be the center of the black community. During the era of segregation, the lodge was one of the few places where black men and women could socialize. In recent years, however, the Post-Gazette commented that the secret organization has struggled to retain its relevance. Still, the secret society continues to sponsor educational scholarships, programs, youth summer computer literacy camps, parades, as well as community service activities throughout the world.
I don't want to get too political, but I wonder why it's lost relevance. I mean, it seems like it'd still be a positive benefit for members and society as a whole.
Tell us about the Grand Orange Lodge.
Grand Orange Lodge. Well, of course, they serve orange cider there, and also lesser known but equally delicious Orange Julius. Do y'all remember Orange Julius?
I loved Orange Julius.
Good. Man, I was so excited when they opened up an Orange Julius here, but now they're gone again. They didn't thrive. I used to get an Orange Julius at the mall down in Florida every year when we went to Florida on vacation. I miss Orange Julius's. Anyway, this is
this is not about
this
Orange
is not
Julius.
about Orange Julius's. The Grand Orange Lodge, Orange Order got its name from Prince William III, the Prince of Orange, and was founded after the Battle of the Diamond outside a small village in modern-day Northern Ireland called Loughgall. Okay, so this is where the orange comes in. Its purpose was to protect Protestants, and that's why in 1849, the Lord Lieutenant of Ireland, George William Frederick Villiers, captured the ire of Dublin's Waterford News for supporting the society. Lord Clarendon has been holding communication with an illegal society in Dublin for upwards of 10 days. The Grand Orange Lodge, with its secret signs and passwords, has been plotting with His Excellency during the whole of that period. This may seem strange, but it is a fact.
I feel like in a past life, you would have been like that person reading the news when, like, over the radio. It's like, listen here, children, this is what's happening.
Talking about all these secret societies, I feel like we're going off the rails just a bit. I love it.
At the time, secret societies were banned from Ireland as they were said to have acted in antagonism to the Land League. The Grand Orange Lodge is still around today, with clubs in Ireland as well as others around the world. Prospective members of the Protestant fraternity don't take a pledge, they just have to affirm their acceptance of the principles of Reformation, as well as loyalty to their country. So I don't know, it wasn't explicitly said, but of course one of the big things over in Ireland and the UK, what?
No, continue.
Okay.
I think that you're going where I'm going.
Is Orangemen, and there's a...
So Katie and
I want you to jump in here because I'm tired of...
Well,
all three of us have a story, and I'm wondering if it's going to the same thing. Say it,
probably.
Katie, say it.
Are you talking about how in Ireland it was like there's the orange for Protestants and then there was the color for the Catholics?
Yeah, green.
Green. So when we were in Ireland, Cam and I and David, we went into this bar and it was this great little like area. And so Cam was sitting over there. I went up to the bar to get a drink and this like military guy walks up and starts talking to me.
Hitting on you.
I wasn't going to say that, and he asked me like flat out,
Yeah.
Are you orange or are you green? And I'm like, what?
I'm thirsty.
I was like, I want a beer. And so
Yellow.
yeah. And then it was like Protestant. And I was like, I don't know, maybe a little of both, which was not the correct answer at all. But that's still the troubles. Like that's still a huge deal in Ireland now. People think it was so long ago, but it is you have to say, are you Protestant or Catholic?
You have to say?
But it's kind of like the joke of saying when you move to Alabama, you have to, are you Auburn or Alabama? You kind of pledge an allegiance in that way. But I think I even told him, I was like, well, I'm Protestant, but I married a Catholic. And he's just kind of like, oh, like,
You shook him.
yeah, it was.
His world be shooketh.
And then
Possible.
And then I kept going, Cam, where were you?
I was putting out the vibes in our
Backing
little...
away from the
I
bar.
was just hanging out.
He was like, I didn't know there was an issue. I thought it was fine.
Cam was just chilling, man.
Man. Am I up?
You are.
Yep.
Independent Order of Oddfellows. I want to be in this one. The first written record of the order comes in 1812, and it references George IV. Even before he was named Prince Regent of the United Kingdom, George IV had been a member of the Freemasons.
There you go.
Which we've talked about. But as the story goes, when he wanted a relative of his to be admitted to the, I'm assuming, Freemasons without having to endure the lengthy initiation process, the request was emphatically denied.
So he created a
Yes,
group.
I see where
because
this
he
is
didn't-
going. He was pissed at the Freemasons for not...
So he made his own society.
He's like, don't follow the rules, just let my friend in. They're like, no. And he's like, screw it. I'm making my own Oddfellow
I'm
situation.
making myself one.
We're the Oddfellows.
George IV left the order, declaring he would establish a rival club. Spicy. The Independent Order of Oddfellows is still around today, and the club counted British Prime Ministers Winston Churchill and Stanley Baldwin among its ranks.
Oh, Winston.
Yeah,
Okay.
our buddy Winston.
Yeah.
The Oddfellows, as they call themselves, are grounded in the ideals of friendship, love, and truth. This sounds like the Babysitter's Club or something.
Yeah. Real skeletons in the Order's Lodge.
Yep. They are used during initiation to remind its members of their mortality. It's like a spooky Babysitter's
Well,
Club.
damn.
It's like, this could be you.
You're gonna die.
This could be you.
I want to be in this one.
And then
will
when you
die
pass
soon.
away, we're going to use your body to then scare somebody else.
I have an idea. At the end of the show, let's pledge our allegiance to one of these after we learn about them.
Oh, Lord. Okay, the Knights of Pythias, founded by Justice H. Rathbone, a government employee in Washington, D.C., 1864, so not that long ago. He felt that there was a moral need for an organization that practiced brotherly love Isn't that they're a city?
Oh, yeah, there's a city of brotherly love for sure.
Which would make sense seeing as the country was during the Civil War. So he wanted some brotherly love.
Okay.
All of its founding members worked for government in some capacity, and it was the first fraternal order to be chartered by an act of Congress. Okay, so Congress sanctioned this.
So not so secret, really.
Colors are blue, yellow, and red. Blue signifies friendship, yellow charity, and red benevolence.
Yes, ma'am.
Woohoo! The Knights of, already forgot how to pronounce it.
Pythias
is still active and is partner of the, it's partners of the Boy Scouts and the second organization to receive its charter from the United States Congress. So that's cool. They partner with the Boy Scouts.
I mean, who doesn't like the Boy Scouts?
These are all just friendship clubs, aren't they?
They are.
There's just a lot of friends.
We want colors. We want symbols.
Listen, just so everybody understands, because, as I like to point out, we are a financial podcast. A lot of these orders spend a lot of time investing in communities, supporting charities, giving, volunteering, giving money, so on and so forth. So
you might want to know about it to support your local organization.
So it's kind of like if Kiwanis was secret. I mean, Kiwanis is public, but they give back to the community. They build relationships.
Exactly.
Yeah, Rotary Club. Okay.
Yeah,
because it's like we talked about Shriners, which is on here, and that's obviously, people know about that.
Yeah. Okay, Ancient Order of the Foresters, known today as Foresters Friendly Society. The Ancient Order of the Foresters was initially established in 1834. The Ancient Order was created before state health insurance began in England, so the club offered sick benefits to its working class members. Okay.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. In 1874, the American and Canadian branches left the Ancient Order and set up the Independent Order of the Foresters. Candidates looking to be admitted to the club had to pass an examination by a competent physician.
They had to get a physical.
They did. Let's get physical. Okay.
Turn your head and cough.
The society still provides insurance policies today for its members, who also engage in a variety of community service activities.
Again, so they're helping you with your benefits and you're giving back to the community.
The Ancient Order of United Workmen. John Jordan Upchurch and 13 others in Meadville, Pennsylvania. Of course it's Pennsylvania. The land of the steel mills. This is United Workmen. It just makes sense. Anyway, founded the Ancient Order of United Workmen in 1868 with the goal of bettering conditions for the working class. Initially, should a member die, all brothers of the order contributed $1 to the member's family. That number would eventually be capped at $2,000.
Again, benefiting the families, helping out.
Oh, the Ancient Order of the United Workmen is no longer around. The order unintentionally created a new kind of insurance that would influence other fraternal groups to add an insurance provision in their constitutions.
Okay, I've got the Patriotic Order Sons of America. Dates back to the early days of the American Republic, became one of the most progressive, most popular, most influential, as well as strongest patriotic organization in the United States in the early 20th century. In 1891, the Sons of America refused to delete the word white in its constitution, defeating a proposition that would allow black men to apply. Today, the order opens its membership up to all native-born or naturalized American male citizens. Damn it, I can't join. Oh, can I say that?
Yes,
you just did.
Sorry.
That's a soft curse word.
Okay. 16 years and older, who believe in their country and its institution, who wish to encourage a brotherly feeling among Americans to the end that we may exalt our country to join with us in our work of fellowship and love. So they kind of need to work with those brotherly love people, because they're very much about, if you believe in America and you're a man and you're 16 years or older, America.
Cort, you get the coolest named one.
Well, yeah, I did notice that. So mine is the Molly Maguires. So it's in the 1870s, 24 foremen and supervisors in the coal mines of Pennsylvania were assassinated.
Wow.
What? Ladies and gentlemen, it took us a while, but we finally got to the secret assassins club.
They were assassinated by like a rival steel gang?
The suspected culprit? Members of the secret society, the Molly Maguires, an organization with Irish origins brought to the United States by Irish immigrants.
I'm picturing like gangs in New York right now.
I am so excited right now. You have no idea. The Maguires likely got its name because members, get this, members used women's clothing as a disguise while allegedly carrying out its illegal acts. like assassinating people,
Okay,
or
so
also including arson and death threats.
So no one's going to expect the little lady running over there and just go, like, oh no.
So the group was finally undone by a mole planted by the famed Pinkerton Detective Agency, which was hired by the mining companies to investigate the group. In a series of criminal trials, 20 Maguires were sentenced to death by hanging.
Oh.
The Order of the Sons of St. George, another secret society organization, which was founded in 1871 to oppose the Maguires, also appears to have vanished. So once they didn't have an enemy anymore, they were no longer needed, so they disbanded.
Wow.
That is
So
so
number
cool.
8 was the
Yeah, number 8
one.
was the stinger, baby.
Yep. Okay. We'll go through this one a little bit quicker. This is 9 of the most exclusive university secret societies.
I actually love this list because Keiki went to a school that was replete with secret societies, so she and I were both sort of fascinated by it the whole time she was there.
Okay, so the Sphinx at Dartmouth, all-male, oldest secret society on campus, dating back to 1855. Members meet in an Egyptian tomb reportedly linked to underground tunnels and known as Cleopatra's swimming pool. That's awesome. Members' names remain secret until graduation when they walk with canes embolized with the Sphinx symbol. Okay. And then in 1989, 16 members were disciplined for stealing $12,000 worth of paintings and photographs during a campus quote-unquote treasure hunt, including a $10,000 painting of an American Indian entitled Pawnee.
The Bullingdon Club, Oxford University, British Prime Ministers David Cameron and Boris Johnson are alumni of the male-only dining society, known for its furniture-smashing meals as displays of wealth.
Furniture smashing.
Furniture smashing.
Oh, that burger was so good. Oh, smash the...
I mean, you know, seriously, we're talking about England. There's not good food in England. They're smashing the furniture because they're angry. They're still hungry. Their food was no good. Come on. The group was founded as a hunting and cricket club in 1788. Members welcome new recruits by trashing their college bedrooms. While recruits are Oxford students, they are banned from holding events on university grounds due to loutishness.
Loutishness.
You are a lout. You're a lout and a reprobate.
I get a repeat Skull and Bones at Yale. Headquarters known as The Tomb, Skull and Bones initiate 15 people a year. New York's Observer newspaper, using night vision video equipment, recorded an initiation where recruits were berated with sexual insults and kneeled to kiss a skull. Oh my word. The club's death mantra is the hangman equals death, the devil equals death, death equals death.
Yes.
Recruits were told they must die to the barbarian world and be reborn in the Elysian company of the Order. Women were finally admitted in 1992.
Interesting. Okay, the Flat Hat Club. Isn't Flat Hat a beer?
Yes.
I think so. William and Mary College. They have the honor of being the first U.S. college secret society, founded in 1750. It was primarily a drinking club.
Yes, it was. Of course it was.
At the Raleigh Tavern in Williamsburg. Patrons met to discuss politics and liberty, which eventually led to U.S. independence. Though the Flat Hat Club disappeared from college life for decades, rumors suggest it has been revived.
Ooh. I'm actually excited that I get this one because this one is from
Look at that.
Keiki's school. It's the Seven Society. It's the University of Virginia. It's founded in 1905. It's the secretest society on University of Virginia campus. Nobody knows who the members are until they die, basically. So the group contributes financially to the university. Donation announcements are through letters signed with astronomical symbols in the order of Earth, Jupiter, Mercury, Mars, Neptune, Uranus, and Venus.
Interesting.
Members, as I already said, are only revealed after their death. A wreath of black flowers shaped like a 7 is laid at the gravesite. Here's a cool thing that's not mentioned in this particular bit. Whenever a member of the 7 dies, the bells on campus ring 7 times.
Oh, wow.
Somebody dies, the bells ring 7 times, and then if you go to their funeral, they'll have a 7 made of black flowers on their gravesite.
Interesting.
Alumni include Frank Wisner, one of the CIA's founders and U.S. ambassador to the UN, Edward Stettinius.
Stettinius.
We'll find out who else is in it when they pass away.
When they die.
Scroll and Key at Yale. This is a cool sounding one. It's very Harry
So
Potter-esque.
you got Skull and Bones at Yale and Scroll and Key.
Yeah, I would rather be in the one that's all death is death and hangman is death and death.
Scroll and Key, founded in 1841. They are one of Yale's Big Seven societies, referred to as landed because the groups have a prestigious building on campus. So they are landed because... Landed, that's an interesting term. Whatever. Among the 40 or so Yale societies, Scroll and Key are one of the wealthiest according to their tax filing. Funny. Secret society. Working with the tax man.
Hey, even secret societies file taxes, y'all.
Death is death in taxes. With more than $12 million in assets under the Kingsley Trust Association. They don't interview candidates. It's a key point. Alumni include former Dateline NBC News anchor Stone Phillips, American film director George Roy Hill, and musician Cole Porter.
I'm telling you, man, if you want to be successful in this country, you got to be in the Skull and Bones or in the Scroll and Key, or got to be in a secret society.
Put me in the Molly McGuire's.
The Apostles, University of Cambridge, founded in 1920 by George Tomlinson, reportedly held and may still hold weekly meetings to discuss truth, God, and ethics. Very different than death. Recruits swear a curse. Oh, well, I spoke too soon, I guess. Recruits swear a curse or vow of secrecy. And former members include influential British economist John Maynard Keynes.
We know him.
And writer Lytton?
Looks like Lytton.
Strachey.
That guy.
Yep.
The group's meeting had been described as Saturday night get-togethers where whales, sardines on toast, and coffee are served.
That's
It's
horrible.
like Bridge Club.
I don't want to join that one.
Doesn't sound fun. Dead is dead, Katie. Come on.
Okay.
The Ivy Club. Okay. Princeton. I know some people that went to Princeton. Technically, secret societies are banned at Princeton, so exclusive eating clubs operate above ground. Fans of F. Scott Fitzgerald's This Side of Paradise will recall the Ivy Club described as detached and breathlessly aristocratic.
That's amazing.
Boy, the man had a way with words. Candidates are vetted with 10 one-on-one interviews. All 130 male and female members must vote unanimously to admit new recruits.
Wow.
One of the wilder rumors about the Ivy Club is that during initiation week, new members are passed down a staircase, the men naked and the women in their underwear. That's a hard no for me.
What?
Yeah. Famous alumni
Is it
include...
like, I'm picturing like passed down like, at a concert when you like...
Yeah. It's like the riding
Crowd surfers.
Yeah, crowd surfing, except you're doing it downstairs and naked.
Naked.
Famous alumni include James Baker, Woodrow Wilson, and author Michael Lewis.
So Woodrow Wilson got passed down some stairs
naked. Yeah.
That's get that out
amazing.
of my head.
I am agog. I am aghast.
I get the final one on this list, the Porcelain Club at Harvard. Harvard students join final clubs in their last academic year rather than secret societies. The Porcelain Club, dating back to the 1790s, is one of the oldest. One Harvard grad described his visit to the club as stepping back into the 1800s. Alumni and club medallions smoked cigars beneath the taxidermed visages that decked the hall. On the walls, the heads of horned beasts, moose, antelope, caribou, with glazed eyes that matched those of the drunken revelers celebrating. That is an amazing description. The all-male club fought the push to go co-ed in 2016. Graduate Board President Charles M. Story argued in the Harvard Crimson that going co-ed could potentially increase, not decrease, the potential for sexual misconduct. President Theodore Roosevelt was an esteemed member. The Porcelain Club.
So, I mean, if Roosevelt was in it, then obviously it was the manliest of clubs. Roosevelt didn't do anything that wasn't manly.
Rough Rider.
Here's a little story. I think we talked about one similar, or we may have talked about this one, but the Woodman of the world. This kind of is a story, but it kind of goes to everything of how a lot of these secret societies, you may find references to them, especially in cemeteries, because that's a lot of times when it would be revealed, or if you watch some of those National Treasure movies or James Bonds, they're little hidden things that may be like on the backside of a frame or something. But this one was somebody that was in a small town in Texas, went down a winding road and came to 3 tall tombstones in the shape of tree trunks, each stamped with an insignia reading Woodman of the World, What were these strange things? When he got home, he dug into the mystery of these stone stumps, discovering the profoundly insecure times before Americans had Social Security, when anxieties about death and finance ran deep in the American psyche. In response to these fears, the Woodman of the World's Order and its competitors, they had the modern Woodman of America, made life insurance approachable and fun by packaging it to the familiar fraternal order culture of the day. The two Woodman societies succeeded in selling fraternal insurance where others failed, thanks to their innovations, which included offering tombstones and holding rituals and sometimes pranks and mechanical goat rides. What?
My brother-in-law is a financial planner for Modern Woodman of America.
Really? And today, both organizations still exist as insurance companies. They've shed their fraternal antics. They're no longer doing mechanical goat rides and slapstick pranks. But a lot of it, it's hard to imagine, their previous things were kind of similar to what we have today of like LinkedIn, GoFundMe, and then Jackass the Show is what's on here as well. So you picture these people that are playing all these pranks, but also they're trying to do good. They're trying to give insurance. But that's kind of a funny way to wrap up all of these different societies we've talked about, and I guess kind of bullseye this as I go ahead and get there. This has been fun, obviously, talking about a bunch of different secret societies, but they all have some kind of influence in our history. So much of where we are today, where we're going to be in the future, is what happens in these different organizations that I don't want to go that conspiracy route, but there are groups of people that are helping influence things one way or the other. Just as you as a consumer can help influence the success of a local mom and pop store, it's on the bigger grand scheme of things that these secret societies help shape what we know as today life insurance. That's very cool that name is still around, that your relative works with, because it's something that dates back to crazy different antics. And I wonder if you got to ask him about the goat rides, mechanical goat rides.
Oh, I'm sure they still do that.
So, that's my bullseye, is that secret societies are fascinating. They're interesting.
Our bullseye is going to be which one would we join?
Yeah, where do we pledge our allegiance?
So that's
first.
the bullseye. With Cameron, you got one?
Oh, Molly Maguire's all day long. They sound.
So you want to be an assassin? Basically?
Yeah, they just sound like they fight all day.
I've never pictured you really as like a combatant.
It just sounds fun. I like it.
It's got a dark side, but maybe he's a part of Fight Club and he just can't tell us about Fight Club.
You would never know.
Nope.
Well, I'm going to go with the obvious one, Skull and Bones, for a couple of reasons. First, if I was in the Skull and Bones, or if I were in the Skull and Bones, then that means I went to Yale, and I think that would be cool. I'd love to have gone to Yale. I didn't. But also, if you get in the Skull and Bones, you can be president of the United States like that. So why wouldn't I? Yeah, I'll
like that.
Katie, come on, bullseye it up. What's your secret society?
I don't want to copy one
Be a
of
part
y'all's.
of the Build-A-Bear one.
No. I mean, Freemasons?
Well, yeah, that'd be interesting. My second choice would be either the Freemasons or the Illuminati.
I'll be scandal. I'll go to the Illuminati.
Ooh. I will say, if you don't get invited to one of these, don't fret. Just go join your local Kiwanis Club or Rotary Club.
Or do like that one guy and just make his own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All these people are just lonely. They just wanted friends, so they made a club.
Yeah, I mean, I was sitting here as we were talking about all of these societies, and I hope everybody stuck with us. I find all of this stuff fascinating, but I was also sitting here daydreaming about like winning the lottery and then taking a chunk of the money and starting a secret society just because I could.
The Bullcast Secret Society.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're going to start recruiting our members. So if you get a secret tap on your shoulder.
Bull and Bones. That's what
There
it's
you
called.
go.
Bone.
Leave us a comment and tell us if you want to join our secret society. But don't talk about it.
We don't talk about.
Bullcast.
Okay, good lord.
Bull and Bones.
Bull and Bones. There we go.
Thank God for that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, there's the closing bell. You have made it to the end of yet another episode of the Bullcast Podcast. If you liked what you heard and you'd like to hear more, please feel free to go to your favorite subscription service and sign up to have our Bullcast beamed directly to your device every single Thursday at noon. If you'd like to find out more about Katie or Cameron or me, please feel free to go to our website. That's bullcastpodcast.com. You can also leave comments there. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, what you'd like to hear more of. And also, if you want to be a guest on our show, please just drop your name in the hat. And if you have something interesting to say, we might let you. If you like pictures, we've got the pictures. The pictures are on the Instagram. The Instagram handle is @BullcastPodcast. We also have the words on Twitter, @BullcastPodcast there as well. And finally, we work at a place called Pickler Wealth Advisors, and if you'd like to find out more about what it is that each of us do for Pickler Wealth Advisors, more about our amazing team at Pickler, and more about our boss, David Pickler, please feel free to go to that website. That address is picklerwealthadvisors.com.
That's advisors with an O.
Not an E.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have given you so much information to go forth and find your own secret society. So for now, I'm Cort.
I'm Katie.
I'm a member of the Molly Maguires.
And we're out.